Hey everybody, my name is John. I'm writer-director on Plot Holes the series, and you're watching the director's commentary for episode 10, Cradle to Grave. And first and foremost, I'd just like to thank everybody for their patience. It used to be a 2-week gap between story episodes, and now it's grown to 3, which is a long time to wait, I realize. And people have been surprisingly cool about it, and which is awesome. I started a term at film school not too long ago, and that's really been eating up a lot of my time. I'm lucky if I get like 4 hours of sleep most days. Luckily, I have the weekends to catch up on sleep, but the weeks are pretty brutal, especially when it was still a 2-week gap between story episodes. Like pulling 26-hour all-night edits is pretty bad. So thanks for the wait. And I call it Plot Holes the series because I know there's a lot of plot holes in it. I do my best on the scripts. Like, I know that much, but you know, I'm only so good. I don't mean so good as in, oh, I'm so good. I mean, I'm only as good as I am. Like, I know there's a lot of stuff I forget. Like, I establish stuff early on, and then I forget to sort of pay it off later. Because I don't outline every episode from the very start. I try my best. Like, I have a very rough outline, but I don't plan out every episode exactly from the very beginning. Like, it's sort of half and half. I have a rough outline, but I'm sort of making it up as I go along as well. For example, a couple plot holes would I've got it all written down here because I have a terrible memory. So a couple plot holes would be in the very first episode of this season, Adam makes fun of a guy that he's like executing in front of a camera, like in this video the clan is putting out, Chaos Theosis. He makes fun of a guy for having this ridiculous long gamer tag that's like Dragon Ball Z themed. But in this episode, his gamer tag is finally revealed, which I didn't know. I didn't know what it was going to be in that first episode. But this episode, you find out that it's Puff de Chronic 420, which has like a bunch of upper and lowercase letters and an underscore, and it's ridiculous as well. So it makes no sense that he made fun of this other guy for his tag. There's another one where the toys. I established that if anybody quits from a game that the Chaos Theosis clan is occupying as well, then they should be banned. So by that logic, when the toys were in that private server getting those hacks from that group of hackers, and the power went out and they were kicked, they should have been banned from that. But, you know, on second thought, it could be assumed that a manual quit, like through the menu, is required for a ban instead of just like, you know, having your console switched off, which would mean anyone can escape the clan members by turning their console off. So, and perhaps the clan knows that, and they're hoping nobody realizes and, you know, believes all form of quitting results in a ban. But I didn't really establish that. I just sort of left it up for interpretation. But I don't know. That's the kind of thing I'm talking about. There's a lot of little holes like that. There's also the fact, like at the end of this episode, Adam is sent to juvenile hall by his mother. And people were bringing up the fact that it doesn't make sense that he would be taken to juvie because he hasn't committed a crime. And it's true, I haven't established ever in the storyline that he has committed a crime, but there's nothing saying that he hasn't. You know what I mean? Like, perhaps that he beat the shit out of some kid at school or something because he has such an ill temper. It probably would have been better if I had established that in the dialogue between Adam and his mother, and mentioned somewhere that he gets into fights at school, or he beats someone almost to death or something like that. Just some kind of crime that, I don't know. Anyway, you get what I'm saying. But I should have established something that would have made it a little more realistic. But yeah, like these past few episodes especially, well, the whole season really has been pretty widely acclaimed. The reception took a bit of a tumble around the Chaos Theosis episode around the middle, because it didn't focus on the toys an awful lot, and you know, that really disappointed me, because I really liked that episode and I thought everyone was going to dig it, but a lot of people, well, the like bar was pretty high, but in the comments people were just tearing it apart, and that disappointed me. But the reception has gone back up, I think. Everyone really loved this Cradle to Grave episode, which I'm really pleased about, despite all its shortcomings. So, I know this intro sequence drags on a bit, but it annoys me when people dismiss these dialogue-heavy scenes with supporting characters as mere filler, as opposed to actually establishing things, which most of the time they do. Like, it's not just there for no reason. Excuse me. I work hard at making sure no scenes are pointless. Like, when I'm outlining an episode, like, I don't just start writing dialogue first, like oh god damn it. I start by writing down everything that needs to happen in a scene. So, like, everything that needs to be established in, like, point form, and then I'll write the dialogue around that. So that intro scene with Adam and his friends establishes two things. One, he treats his friends like shit, giving the one friend the motivation to turn on him in the end and refuse to shoot Arbiter-in-Chief when they're at the end of that platform. Two, it establishes that Adam's mother has reached her breaking point. She has no idea what to do, which gives her the motivation to finally send him to juvie. Because if she sent him to juvie right away, it might seem a little jarring that she would jump to such an extreme decision. Like, I needed to establish that she was cornered and really had no idea what to do anymore, and this was sort of a last resort. So, yeah, that's why. I also enjoy spending a lot of time with characters now. I've grown to love that. Like, I love just writing dialogue for characters and sort of exploring them. I think that's a real high point of this season, is that I've spent a lot of time fleshing out the villains and, you know, making them so they're not just evil people out to do evil things. They all have personal motivation, and they're all real damaged people. And regarding, you know, the dialogue heavy scenes and the way, you know, people can sort of dismiss them, like, it's so annoying when people are like, oh, I skipped the first 7 minutes of bullshit to get to Arby and the Chief, yeah! It's like, come on, man, there's important stuff going on there. Like, scenes consist of two elements. There's text and there's subtext. Text is what happens on the surface, the dialogue we hear, the actions we see. Subtext is the meaning behind that dialogue and behind those actions, what's really going on. You know, a prime example would be two people on a date. Without any text or subtext, the guy would just go, hey, can I put your penis, or my, hopefully the girl doesn't have a penis, but he would go, can I put my penis in your vagina? And then you get slapped, maced, or arrested. But with subtext, you know, both people say everything to each other besides the obvious, and the true intentions are deciphered from particular language used, body language, whatever. And, you know, makes things much more interesting. And without text, there's no subtext, so everything is expository and uninteresting. So, you know, I'll take an example from my favorite movie, 2001. Without text or subtext, HAL 9000 would just speak directly to the audience, like right into the lens, saying, I'm an evil robot and I'm going to kill everybody. And you'd be going there, you'd be sitting there saying, wow, I paid money to see this. And I know HAL 9000 technically wasn't evil. He was given conflicting orders, and he chose the path of least resistance. Which makes things interesting, because it portrays shades of gray as opposed to simply, you know, black and white, which is something I tried doing with this season. Like, the Chaos Theosis clan are doing this bad thing by banning players and trying to bring down the network, but they each have different motivations and they feel justified in what they're doing. So, I think the most interesting stories blur the line between good and bad, as opposed to very distinctly dividing them. People had a real problem, I noticed, listening to Adam's dialogue. They felt it was way too dark and offensive, and I took it too far. And, you know, maybe they're right. When I'm writing, my mind naturally goes to very dark and twisted places, and I usually end up having to take a few steps back and toning down the material. But, you know, sadly, kids like Adam and their behavior isn't even an exaggeration. Like, I did a lot of research for this character in particular. I looked up every single, like, freak out video I could of, like, you know, kids or just like teenagers playing video games and flipping out. And, you know, some may have picked up the reference to the chocolate milk kid, the freak out video on Rainbow Six Black Arrow, I think it was, for Xbox One. And it's fucking hilarious, because, like, the fact that the character models' mouths move when the player speaks over the microphone, it's just, oh, it's so funny. You're watching this fully armed soldier jumping around, firing at the walls, screaming for chocolate milk, and you can see his lips moving. It's just so absurd. And he's calling his mom every name in the book, and he's going, why? Give me chocolate milk. That's bullshit. So, you know, I'm the kind of, I'm attracted to really dark material. Like, I'm the kind of guy who goes on the likes of Live Leak or ShockTube, or these, like, you know, these like shock videos where you see stuff that normally you would never see on the news or whatever, and I just find the most crazy, obscene shit I can find. And it's not out of some weird fetish or anything, like, I don't get off on it, but I'm fascinated by how far people are willing to go, no matter what the aspect. I'm interested in the absolute limits of human behavior. And, you know, I feel as a writer that I have a responsibility to be aware of the absolute extreme limits of human behavior. You know, where do people draw the line? And, you know, with some people it's surprisingly far. And, you know, I want to see those limits. And, a few commenters I've noticed, not very many, but a handful, have a problem with me calling myself a writer, like, as if I attach some kind of pretentious nobility to the word. I call myself a writer because that's my fucking job. I write words on paper. I'm a screenwriter. Not because I think I'm awesome, because, you know, I don't think I'm that awesome, but I think I'm getting better each time. You know, there's a significant visible improvement in each season, so I know I'm getting somewhere at least. you know, and part of this show's purpose, you know, I'm not too proud of the early seasons. Like seasons 1 to 3, I wish I could just remove from the internet. But unfortunately, the internet is like going on the beach. Like once you go there and you get sand in your shoes, the sand isn't coming out ever. Once something's on the internet, you can never take it back. And I don't know. I wish I was a decent writer before I started making episodes, because there's so many shit episodes, I think. And I'm really disappointed in myself about that. And you know, I'm so embarrassed about the show. Like I work really hard on it now, and I just let the internet following sort of enjoy it. Excuse me. But I never mention it like face to face to anybody, because like when I mention Arby and the Chief, the first thing they're gonna do is like the first episodes they're gonna check out is those shitty ones from like season 2 or 3 or whatever, and they'll be like, oh, this isn't very good, I'm not gonna check out the rest. And then I don't want to have to go, no, you don't understand, it's way better now. But you know, so I just shut my mouth and then, you know, just let the online following appreciate it. And yeah. So I was saying before, part of this show's purpose has always been, you know, maybe not so much in the earlier seasons, but certainly now, to tear open the online gaming community and expose it for just how ugly it really is. Because it is an ugly place. Anonymity on the internet can bring out the ugliest in anybody. And, you know, I think people need to know just how bad it can be. And I try and be as realistic about it as possible. Like, it's an exaggeration sometimes, but there's a lot of truth in it too, you know, regarding the way people behave. People think Adam's behavior is extreme, but it's actually very common. I know that sounds unrealistic to some people, but it's true, sadly. Some people think I must be disturbed or very maladjusted for writing Adam's dialogue, or, you know, I'm condoning it, you know, like I'm promoting Adam's behavior, which is absolutely not true. I mean, maybe I am maladjusted, I don't know, but I certainly do not condone Adam's behavior just because I'm the one who wrote his dialogue. I'm just able to put my mind, you know, put myself in the mind of that character. Because that's what you have to do when you're writing characters. You have to become that character and then write from the heart, basically. And, you know, I do not condone Adam's behavior. My only objective is to create an antagonist people love to hate. I wanted to create a character that was absolutely ruthless, the lowest of the low, basically. And, you know, these kids on the internet, on games and stuff, are a perfect example. Like I was saying in the Chaos Theosis episode, this kid has grown up on an online battlefield, that's where he spends most of his time, on an explicit online battlefield where actions don't have real consequences. So, you know, he mouths somebody off, pisses somebody off by doing it. He doesn't get punished for it, because there's no face-to-face contact. It's all just over a microphone, so there's not going to be any physical consequence. You're not going to get punched in the face for swearing at some guy, cussing him out. And you know, I create Adam's dialogue for that reason, to create a solid antagonist. And, you know, saying I endorse or condone Adam's behavior because I write his characters outrageous. It's like saying Infinity Ward must endorse mass murder for having that, you know, airport massacre stage in Modern Warfare 2 where you shoot up all the civilians. And say what you want about it, but that was an extremely effective way of creating a hateable antagonist, like a very much hated antagonist is a big part of telling an entertaining story. And the showdown with Makarov was the sole reason I want to buy Modern Warfare 3. Like, I don't really care that much about the multiplayer. I want to play the campaign because I want to see Makarov go down. And that's because he was so well established as an antagonist in the second game. You were made to hate him. And I think that airport level was a very successful way of doing that. And it was fun. I'll admit it. You guys know it was fun too. It was a crazy ass level. You know, you're not going to play it and be like, oh, this isn't fun, this is terrible. I mean, obviously, I don't mean murdering innocent people is fun. And anyone who takes it that way is just dumb. Sorry. That's not what it's about. You know. Anyway. And maybe it's just me, but that's how powerful a story element and antagonism can be for me. You know. Controversy sells, just like sex sells. You know. And you know, I'm not buying Call of Duty for the multiplayer because it's pretty safe to say, I think, that Battlefield 3 has blown it out of the water. You know, when it comes to multiplayer anyway. I mean, I'm not bashing Call of Duty. In fact, I think it's become the cool thing to hate on Call of Duty because it's so big. Because people like to turn on things that are big, like, you know, Family Guy. People love to hate that show because it's so big now. And you know, I used to have millions of views, but you know, I'm actually kind of cool with having a smaller audience now because I know if I was still in the millions, people would turn on me if I was too big. I'm convinced of that. I think that's just a natural thing people do collectively. You know, like Justin Bieber or Rebecca Black or, you know, all that shit. Well, I know people hate Justin Bieber and Rebecca Black because of the music, but it's not even their fault. Like Rebecca Black, that production company who... I mean, she's a 13-year-old girl. What lyrics do you expect to hear from her? You know... expect her to write Shakespeare? She's an American teenage girl. And then she gave all her money to charity. What more do you want? And then she gets a constant stream of hate messages. She doesn't deserve that. Anyway, I'm going off on a tangent again. So, thanks a lot for watching the commentary. I really appreciate it. Thanks for being so patient. I'll talk to you next time. I don't know when. Thanks. See ya.